The top stories tonight in Y News. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is expected to stress his desire to have a peaceful South China Sea in his upcoming official working visit to the United States from April 30 to May 4. The Muntinlupa City Regional Trial Court seeks to push through the promulgation of judgment for one of the drug cases of former Senator Laila De Lima. Several lawmakers slammed the recent near collision incident in Ayungin Shoal involving Chinese and Philippine Coast Guard vessels. And authorities nab another pastor in Kenya who is accused of committing mass murders of his followers. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Friday, April 28, 2023. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am William Theo. First in the news, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is expected to meet United States President Joe Biden on May 1st at the White House. The two leaders will reaffirm the Philippines and the United States defense and economic ties. Nel Maribuhok reports.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. will stress his desire to have a peaceful South China Sea in his upcoming official working visit to the United States from April 30 to May 4. According to Foreign Affairs spokesperson Teresita Daza, the two leaders will likely discuss maritime cooperation and South China Sea issue.
The President is expected to advance Philippine socio-economic development priorities and harness closer partnerships in such areas as agriculture, energy, climate change, digital transformation and technology, humanitarian assistance, disaster relief, supply chains, and infrastructure.
Ambassador Daza said that various priorities such as agriculture and food security, infrastructure development, renewable energy, and clean energy will be some of the sectors that will actually be highlighted during the visit. The two leaders will also discuss regional matters and coordinate an efforts to uphold international law and promote a free and open Indo-Pacific.
It will be safe to assume that he will also count on the U.S. to actively support Philippine efforts in terms of enhancing maritime cooperation, upholding international law and freedom of navigation and overflight, and promoting sustainable development of marine resources.
The chief executive is also expected to sit down with legislators, major U.S. companies, and business groups. In Washington, D.C., President Marcos will also deliver a major policy speech in the think tank. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Meanwhile, the Muntinlupa City Regional Trial Court, or RTC, will push through with the promulgation of judgment for one of the drug cases of former Senator Laila De Lima on May 12, 2023. Dante Amento tells us why.
The panel of prosecutors of the Department of Justice, or DOJ, has presented their last witness in today's trial of one of the drug cases of former Senator Laila De Lima before the Muntinlupa City Regional Trial Court, Branch 204. Attorney Bonnie Tacardon, De Lima's legal counsel, said the court will promulgate its judgment on May 12, 2023.
Huling testigo na at natapos ang kanyang testimonya at nag-order na si Judge na itutuloy niya ang paglabas ng kanyang desisyon.
Meanwhile, the prosecution said they will let the court decide on the case after the over 6 years of legal proceedings.
Sabi nga nila, ang bola, it's already nasa korte na. We will just wait for the verdict. We do not want to make any speculation. We do not want to preempt.
Attorney Tacardon added that De Lima is optimistic the court will exercise its discretion squarely and fairly.
Naniwala kami na didesisyonan to ng hukuman base sa ebidensya at merito ng kaso na naisampad lamang kay Senator Laila De Lima.
De Lima's supporters, on the other hand, believe the former legislator will be acquitted.
If she is not acquitted, talagang ewan ko, magwawala na ako.
Sana sa darating na May 12, ang paglaya ni former Senator Laila De Lima, yung maririnig naming desisyon.
Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Muntinlupa City Regional Trial Court, or RTC Branch 256, will release its decision over the motion for bail by former Senator Laila De Lima on May 8, 2023. This is over one of the two remaining drug cases of De Lima pending before the Muntinlupa RTC for allegedly tolerating the operation of illegal drugs trade at the maximum security compound of the New Bilibid prison. De Lima's camp believes the bail plea will be granted. Early 2021, one drug case of De Lima was dismissed.
Mauna yung piyansa kung sakasakali. Umaasa kami na mapagbigyan yung ang kanyang aplikasyon for bail.
In other news, the Department of Foreign Affairs is planning to bring back a batch of 50 Filipinos from war-torn Sudan this weekend. Meanwhile, the Department of Migrant Workers is exploring the possibility of booking a chartered flight to bring hundreds of Filipinos home from Egypt. Janice Hente will tell us why.
The Philippine government is arranging repatriation flights for over 400 overseas Filipinos who were evacuated to Egypt from Sudan. According to DFA Undersecretary Eduardo De Vega, they are planning to book a flight for the first batch of 50 Filipino evacuees from Sudan to bring them back to the Philippines.
Yan ang aming target, dapat next week na. Ang problema lang yung agawan ng commercial flights then also, pero at least yun ang iniisip namin, hindi yan tumagal pa. Remember po, itong weekend, dapat sana nasa Pilipinas na itong 50, kung hindi siguro Lunes, ganyan.
De Vega said that after the initial batch, the DFA together with the Department of Migrant Workers are planning to bring home another 350 overseas Filipinos a week later. However, he says that they found it difficult to get the commercial flights due to spillover of people fleeing from Sudan. According to DMW Secretary Susan Ople, they are now exploring the possibility of booking a chartered flight for 350 Filipino evacuees.
Para isang na lang, kasi kung makikipagbakbakan pa tayo sa tickets, that means tatagal pa sila sa Cairo. And sabi ko nga, the hotel rooms are getting scarce because of the sheer volume of people now crossing the border into Egypt.
The DFA said that about 496 Filipinos have evacuated the Sudanese capital of Khartoum, and 414 of them are either at the border between Egypt and Sudan or have already crossed the border into Egypt. Janice Hente, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And for our news abroad, just days after Kenyan authorities had found dozens of bodies in mass graves linked to a cult leader, another Kenyan pastor has been arrested for the alleged mass killings of his followers. Ruth Bahet tells the details live. Ruth?
Path Ezekiel Odero, the head of the New Life Prayer Center and Church, is arraigned at Mombasa Law Courts in Kenya today, following reports of the alleged mass killings of his followers. Officials have not disclosed the number of deaths in Odero's church, but had evacuated more than 100 people who had been holed up in the church's premises in the small town of Malvini. The church has been shut down and scores of his followers are required to give their statements, according to the country's Interior Minister Kithure Kindiki. Odero is one of the country's highest-profile church leader and is the second pastor to face criminal charges for mass murder just days after cult leader Paul Mackenzie Ntenge had been arrested for the same charges, prompting the government to crack down on religious fringe groups. Officials have not linked the two cases so far. Back to you, Kath.
Thank you, Ruth Bahe, for that report live from Vietnam. To link the remote Indian region of Kashmir to India's mainland, a 1,315-meter long and 359-meter high railway bridge over Chenab River in the middle of the mighty Himalayas is soon to be opened. With a construction cost of $168 million, the bridge, which is dubbed as the world's highest railway bridge, is taller than the Eiffel Tower in Paris and will provide an all-weather connectivity with Kashmir. The bridge is a part of the Udhampur-Srinagar-Barmula Rail Link project, in which work started in 1999. It is made out of 28,000 tons of steel and is constructed to withstand harsh weather conditions, such as earthquakes and landslides, due to the bridge being built in an area prone to high seismic activities. Although there has been local apprehensions that non-locals will start visiting the region, political analyst Siddiq Wahid said that this railway connectivity will help New Delhi to have more control and increase economic activities in the area. We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, William.
Thank you, Kath. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook. The Department of Transportation discloses that among the options to expedite the refill of plastic card supplies for driver's licenses will be an emergency procurement. JP Nunez will tell us why.
As the supply of plastic cards for driver's licenses looms, the Department of Transportation has stated that the Bids and Awards Committee is considering emergency procurement of plastic cards.
Isa sa mga option na ibinigay sa atin ng GPPB ay kung maaari tayong magkaroon ng emergency procurement, subalit meron tayong mga parameters na dapat i-evaluate.
Compared to competitive bidding where the project will be open for suppliers to decide if they can meet the government's needs, emergency procurement would allow government agencies to directly coordinate with possible suppliers.
Hindi lang ito limitado doon sa existing supplier. Basta kayang i-provide nung ibang supplier yung ating pangangailangan, particularly kung ito ay emergency, yung ating tight timeline, maaari natin silang makonsider kahit hindi sila ang existing supplier.
However, the DOTR is still unsure if emergency procurement will be allowed.
Baka naman pag kinancel natin yung competitive bidding, pareho din naman pala yung delivery period kahit mag-emergency procurement tayo given the complexity halimbawa ng requirement ng raw material, so baka na-defeat din yung purpose ng emergency procurement.
The DOTR opened bidding last April 12 until April 24, but the period was extended to May 24 due to pending queries from the Land Transportation Office or LTO regarding the terms of reference. The Bids and Awards Committee will decide once the LTO addresses the queries to proceed with the bidding process.
As soon as ma-receive po ng Bids and Awards Committee yung tugon mula sa LTO hinggil sa mga katanungan patungkol doon sa terms of reference, the Bids and Awards Committee will convene and decide on the moving forward.
Based on the initial target from the terms of reference, the nearest possible time to refill the supply of plastic cards for driver's licenses will be in July. This is 60 days after a supplier has been awarded from the bidding process. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Manila Electric Company or Meralco projects an increase in the energy consumption during the rest of the summer season, especially in May. Find out ways on how to lower energy consumption at home. Eileen Cerudo has this report.
Energy consumption is set to increase by 10 to 40% in May, according to the Manila Electric Company or Meralco. This is due to high temperatures brought by the summer season. Fans and air conditioners are turned on for hours to alleviate the heat. The agency projects there will be no power supply issue. However, it reminds consumers to continue conserving energy at home.
May mga customers na nagtatanong, bakit yung bill ko ng April mas mataas pa din kumpara nung March. Ang simple explanation diyan kasi mas bagamat bumaba per kilowatt hour yung presyo ng kuryente, mas naging mataas yung konsumo mo.
This includes unplugging unused appliances that can still generate vampire load or energy consumption. A household can save up to 250 pesos monthly with this practice.
Kaya nga napaka-importante na tingnan natin yung consumption pattern natin sa bahay, no? Sa mga factories at mga commercial establishments. Ang lagi namin sinasabi at every time I end a press briefing, let us make energy efficiency a way of life. Dahil yun lang talaga ang paraan natin para ma-manage natin ang bills every month.
Checking for air leaks in refrigerators and air conditioners can also be helpful in reducing a monthly energy cost by 434 pesos and 731 pesos respectively. Consumers can also check the hourly, daily, or monthly cost in using an appliance via appliancecalculator.meralco.com. A 1-horsepower non-inverter aircon used for 7 hours daily can cost 64.29 pesos daily and 1,800 pesos in 1 month. Meralco also advised to keep air conditioner temperatures to a comfort level.
Meron kasing effect per degree setback. May increase yan to 5 to 7% dun sa consumption ng iyong aircon. So, pag magsiset tayo ng aircon bago matulog, kailang make sure kung alamin niyo kung ano yung akmang temperatura para sa inyo. Huwag yung tipong nilalamig kayo, yung talagang comfortable lang kayo.
The agency also encourages the public to upgrade to inverter appliances to save 50 to 60% in their power bill. Meanwhile, consumers are discouraged to purchase energy-saving devices online. According to Meralco, this would only increase energy consumption and is not endorsed by the Department of Energy. Eileen Sarudo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has appointed Pablo Ascona as the new acting administrator of the Sugar Regulatory Administration. Prior to this latest appointment, Ascona served as a board member of SRA as a farmer's representative. The new SRA chief replaces David Alba, whose resignation was effective last April 15. Ascona stated that he will prioritize measures on how to stabilize the price of sugar, including the issuance of a suggested retail price at 85 pesos per kilogram. The official will also fast-track the process of bringing imported rice to the market. By May, SRA is expected to sell confiscated sugar in Kadiwa stores and Metro Manila markets for 70 pesos per kilogram. Ascona said that the agency will also conduct an inventory of sugar since the harvest season is almost done. This will give them an idea of the supply status.
Especially sa ngayon, we are facing a challenge which is El Nino. So we're figuring out how to help the farmers more. And last is to keep the DA Secretary in Malacanang updated. What's the situation on the ground? How are the retail prices? How are the farm gate prices? So far, the farmers have been very happy. I will try my best to do the duties of the administrator properly.
Different labor groups gathered together to prepare props for the celebration of Labor Day on Monday. Gabriela Party List reiterates that protests for wage increase will be the center of their program. Bernadette Tinoy will tell us why.
Women Workers United or WWU gathered for an art workshop in UP Diliman to prepare for Labor Day on Monday, May 1. Gabriela Party List Representative Arlene Brosas asserted that the group's focus during Labor Day would be on wage increases.
Mahalaga po dito na usapin yung sahod ng mga manggagawa, syempre yung working conditions, yung safety ng mga manggagawa natin, tapos kabahagi din nito, syempre yung mga iba pang mga benepisyo na kailangan ng mga manggagawa.
Nagkaisa Labor Coalition Chairman Attorney Sani Matula attended the art workshop and expressed his support for women workers.
Suportado ng Nagkaisa Labor Coalition yung mga kilos ng kababaihan para mapataas ang antas ng pamumuhay ng ating mga manggagawang kababaihan. Yung tutok natin dito ay sahod, trabaho at yung karapatan ng mga manggagawa.
He reiterated his support for the 150 pesos wage increase in private sector proposed by Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri.
Gusto namin 750 pero dahil wage recovery sa buong bansa, palagay namin ay rationable na suportahan yung 150 pesos ni Congressman Mendoza at ni Senador Zubiri sa Senado.
Labor groups will gather at España on Monday and will start marching at 8 a.m. to Menjola in Manila. More than 10,000 individuals from different labor groups are expected to participate in Labor Day. Meanwhile, members from the seafarers announced their participation for the first time amid the escrow provision in the Magna Carta of Seafarers.
Kasama rin natin sa Labor Day ang mga seafarers natin sapagkat may napaka-importanting issue sila, yung escrow provision sa Magna Carta ng seafarers.
Bernadette Tinoy, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Meanwhile, the labor groups are preparing to stage a protest on Labor Day, Monday, May 1st. They are targeting over 10,000 participants in Manila. Additionally, they will conduct protests in Cebu, Negros, Panay, and other parts of Mindanao. Their primary demands are for a wage increase, public employment, and an end to the contractualization program. The Department of Labor and Employment is also ready for a nationwide job fair. According to the Bureau of Local Employment, there are currently 116,000 job vacancies. There will be 43 job sites opened in different parts of the country and 1,133 participating employers. The department expects the number of job vacancies to increase as they continue to receive reports from different regions. The Department of Labor is working hard to strengthen local employment to help boost the country's economy.
Of course, part po ito ng ating strategies for this current administration, no, na naka-identify, naka-spell out sa ating Philippine Development Plan, no? Particularly po para sa chapter on labor and employment, meron tayo dong strategy on increasing employability of our Filipinos. Para makatulong of course sa ating bansa, sinisiguro natin na ang bawat Pilipino ay magkaroon ng trabaho, maging employable at magkaroon ng madaling access sa paghahanap ng kanilang mga trabaho.
With tensions already growing due to their nuclear program, Iran now seized an oil tanker at the Gulf of Oman. Annie Reyes-Mancilia details why live. Yes, Annie?
Good evening, Kath. The vessel known as Advantage Sweet is a Marshall Islands flagged oil tanker and were on their way to Houston, Texas, carrying crude oil from Kuwait, eventually sending out a distress call after being seized by Iran in the Gulf of Man on Thursday morning. In a statement, the United States Navy criticized the actions of Iran, stating they are contrary to international law, adding that their continued harassment are a threat to marine security. Iran responded by alleging that the oil tanker collided with an unnamed Iranian vessel the night prior, implying that Iranian crew members went missing or got injured. However, no unusual behavior was seen. This is also the fifth time in the last 2 years that Iran has seized a ship and seems to be a recurring trend, according to the U.S. Navy, after the U.S. pulled out of Iran's nuclear deal. Meanwhile, the vessel was carrying crude oil for Chevron, an American energy firm, and according to the vessel's management, Advantage tankers, no crew members were in danger. Back to you, Kath.
Thank you, Annie Reyes-Mancilia, reporting live from Singapore. Tensions between the Sudanese army and rapid support forces continue to rise and is expected to become more intense in the coming days. Olga Chalian will tell us why.
Residents fear that the violence will increase in the next days after reports of fighting across the country throughout the ceasefire period. A statement from Rapid Support Forces, or RSF, said that the Sudanese army continued to carry out airstrikes on their forces in Khartoum, while the army responded that it was situational in some parts of the country as they were close to taking control of the region. Apart from the capital city, the region of Darfur have also seen a surge in violence since the tension began due to the tribal militaries present in the region. According to one of board members of the Doctors Syndicate in Darfur, most of the region's markets and government offices are being destroyed, while medical facilities are either out of service or inaccessible due to the fighting. Meanwhile, according to WHO, only 16% of Khartoum's health facilities are functioning and basic necessities are becoming scarce. According to the United Nations, about 34,000 refugees have already entered neighboring countries, including Egypt and Chad, and is expecting around 270,000 more in the next days. The two factions have agreed to a further 72-hour extension starting Thursday in order to facilitate the ongoing evacuations. Paul Gatchalian, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I'm Kat Numaraos, live from Bangkok, Thailand. Good evening.
Several lawmakers slammed the recent near-collision incident in Ayungin Shoal involving Chinese and Philippine Coast Guard vessels. For an expert, the Philippines and China should initiate coordinated patrols to avoid misencounters. Harleen Delgado will tell us why.
The Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, calls on China to respect the rights of the Philippines over the West Philippine Sea. This comes after the Philippine Coast Guard, or PCG, identified more than 100 alleged Chinese maritime militia vessels during its 7-day maritime patrol. The PCG also reported a near-collision incident in Ayungin Shoal after a Chinese vessel made a dangerous maneuver near BRP Malapascua, noting that it posed a significant threat to the safety of the Philippine vessel and its crew. In a statement, DFA spokesperson Maria Teresita Daza emphasized that the Philippines has the right to conduct routine maritime patrols in its territorial waters and exclusive economic zone. The agency also calls on China to refrain from actions that may cause any untoward incident. The DFA adds it is still studying its options whether to file a diplomatic protest over the incident. Meanwhile, several senators slammed the near-collision incident. For Senator Jinggoy Estrada, who chairs the Senate Committee on National Defense and Security, the Philippines should consider seeking help from its allies.
So sa akin, sobra ng pambubuli ito ng mga Chinese military men sa mga nag-fishing dun sa West Philippine Sea. Sobra na pambubuli nito. Wala naman nangyari dahil panay file natin diplomatic protest, yun ang kakainis.
For Senator J.V. Ejercito, the Chinese Coast Guard's alleged bullying is already disrespecting the country's sovereignty. Senator Ronald De La Rosa, for his part, advises the PCG to maximize its escape and evasion tactics and to be patient. Senate Minority Leader Coco Pimentel says all claimant countries in the South China Sea should start behaving like civilized and respectful neighbors and start a dialogue, while Senate Deputy Minority Leader Risa Hontiveros hopes that the palace will condemn China's threats and tell Beijing to stop its aggressive acts. For former Deputy National Security Advisor designate Dr. Romel Banlawi, a code of conduct is needed to prevent maritime disputes. However, Banlawi says finalizing the agreement takes time.
Nagpapalitan ng kanilang radio challenge sa isa't isa. Natatakot ako na baka humantong sa pagkapikunan yung sitwasyon na yan at magkaroon ng unintended violent encounter at sea, at kinakailangan na i-prevent yung ganyang klaseng sitwasyon kasi napakadelikado talaga at napaka-risky.
For now, what the Philippines and China and even the other claimant countries can do is to coordinate maritime patrols to avoid accidents.
Halimbawa, sabihin ng China sa atin through the multiple channels of communications na magkakandak sila ng kanilang patrol activities around Ayungin Shoal. Sabihin din natin, tayo din magkakandak ng maritime patrol activities, kaya asahan nyo na darating kami dyan ng ganitong panahon.
Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Philippines-United States Balikatan exercises 2023 officially closed today, Friday, April 28. This year, Balikatan marked its biggest iteration with more than 17,600 participants, including 12,200 U.S. soldiers and 5,400 Philippine troops. Some of the major events in this year's Balikatan included the Command Post exercise, Cyber Defense exercise, Field Training exercise, and humanitarian civic assistance. The joint military exercises opened on April 11. Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration, or PAGASA, recorded high heat index in various places in the country. Giwan in eastern Samar is the highest with 47 degrees Celsius, while Butuan City is at 46. 44 degrees Celsius was recorded in Zamboanga City, Legazpi City, and Catarman in northern Samar. Masbate City, Puerto Princesa City, and San Jose in Occidental Mindoro recorded 43 degrees Celsius, while 42 degrees Celsius was recorded in Vira Catanduanes, Sangli Point in Cavite, Rojas City, Davao City, and Dipolog in Zamboanga del Norte. PAGASA said the country will continue to experience hotter weather in May. No tropical cyclone is expected to enter the Philippine Area of Responsibility, or PAR, until the end of April. Our kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the pandemic caused by coronavirus, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with a word giving glory to God from the book of Romans chapter 8, verse 10. It says, "And if Christ be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the Spirit is life because of righteousness." And those are the reasons behind the news, April 28, 2023, reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am William Theo. We serve the people. We give glory to God.